Grid Foundry community, I've been looking at the forum lately, and there seemed to be some confusion about how to get a base up and running, connecting it to a map to show multiple points on that map. So I'll be showing you how to do that today. Let's head over to our... Oh, I've been jumping ahead here, so I'll go back to my RF app config file here. You click on resources up here, then create a new base here. We'll be calling it, since I've made a list here of the 7 wonders of the world with the latitude and longitude, we'll be calling it Wonders of the World. So I'll be creating that with a custom structure. So I'll be giving it a name. This is the header for the column, and I'll be giving it a description, a short one. I'll add the latitude and longitude, like so. So I'm done editing my structure. So I'll be adding a new item like so. Just type here, get the name, get the description. Okay. So you can just copy the first result of Wikipedia here, just for demonstration purposes, and the latitude and longitude. I'll do one more just in case, so add that. So this seems to be taking quite a while. I think I'll be reloading this. Maybe it has been added. So yes, seems to be some form of I don't know, connectivity issue here. So I'll be the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. I'll be adding that as well. So let's copy that description here. Adding the latitude. And the longitude. So I've added 2 points to my map, and in case I need to add any ones later, I'll be going back to the resources, managing base, and there I can find the wonders of the world. So I'll be going back to my RF app file. So I'm here. So what you didn't what I forgot to do was to add or to get the API connectivity of my Wonders of the World base. So you can see that there is the URL. Let us just look at the URL, just look at the file to see what an RFBase looks like. So there you can see it looks like an RSS feed really. The root called RFBase, items, item, item. And there we have all the data in there. So we'll be, instead of copying this URL, we'll be doing it the right way. So we'll get RFML, we'll get the RFML code here. This seems to be method post. I don't quite know why. Maybe because of the variables here. So we'll just leave it like that. I'll be going back to my app. So there we are. We'll be putting the data source tag inside down below the. Oh, so that's wrong. We'll be putting the data source tag inside the view data sources, and we're putting it here. putting the properties of the view inside the view tags. This is also a mistake I made. So we're having it here. Now we can give it a name or give it an ID. So wonders of the world. Now I'll be adding a title bar. So I'll be adding layout 100%, and the height should be 40. We're giving it the layout type property float, and we'll also be giving it sub-widgets. So the sub-widget is image, and since I've already prepared an image called top bar background, I'll just be copying that and adding the width and the height property of those. Max height property of this background here. I'll be defining the image path. And I'll be also defining the layout type to absolute. You might be wondering why I'm adding the title bar to here. It's because I would like to reload the app so I can preview changes immediately. So that's it, probably. And I'll be adding a title as well, just with the text widget. Seven wonders. Floating it above the background image, giving it the font, the standard Helvetica font, and the standard color of the text widget is white anyway, so we'll be leaving it at that. So now I'll be adding a refresh property to this layout widget that will allow me to refresh the entire view and preview code changes immediately. So replacing the view with RF app config. So we'll have everything here. So now I can go over to my app, load the code here. Maybe I have a space behind one of them. Okay, so I've got my app here, and I can preview changes immediately. So now I'll be adding a map below the layout of the title bar. Width 100%, and the height will be, let's say we are now calculating the height with a JavaScript snippet. We're just getting the app screen height. We're subtracting the status bar here and the title bar down here. So in total, this is 20 pixels of points, and this one is 40 points. So we'll be subtracting 60. Then we're absolute. We'll be adding the absolute in the layout property. layer type property. Then we'll defining the top position of the widget to 40. Goes from here down to here, minus 60 in height and 100% in width. We'll then be changing the map type to hybrid. We'll saving that now. Just to reload, see if we have a map down here. So as we can see, we have a map. Don't quite know where this is. Okay, in the middle of the ocean. And as you can see down here, there's the Google logo. This is rather important because if you use a Google map and don't show the logo, Apple is most likely going to reject your app. So be careful about presenting that and don't overlay any widget above that. So let's go over to our map and define our points. So now you can import the RFBase that we've already have a map data provider for, and the ID of the data provider is Wonders of the World. So we'll be giving it row data ID, Wonders of the World. We'll then be looking at the RFBase. So row data path is the next property we're going to get. And to see what path we need, we're just going to check here. It's RFBase is the root value, then it's items, and then it's item. So to get an item, we'll have to go through RFBase, items, item. So let's head over to that. RFBase, item, and then item. We can then define the item longitude and latitude. We'll be addressing since we have a relative path for this is for the items now, we'll be using data, row, lat, longitude. So we'll be adding data, row, longitude. Now I'll be adding a title for our pin here, and that is data, row, and you can see here it's name. Now let's call the last one, which is the item subtitle. We'll define the last one. So now we have defined relative paths. We have imported the RFBase and pointed each individual widget to the entries. So let's reload that. So as you can see, there are two pins here. Oh, okay. So that's the Great Pyramid. So we can turn off user location. No. And then we can define zoom to fit. Zoom to fit. Yes, so this is standard. So let's reload our map. And as you can see, everything gets zoomed here. And apparently I don't have a subtitle, something went wrong here. Because I've defined subtitle, so the node description contains my subtitle information. So now, as you can see, we have defined the RFBase, and now we have a subtitle here. So in case you're wondering how to now address each individual app, so now you would like to, you have your map here and you would like to show further information, and you're wondering how you could achieve that. So you add an action tag to your map widget, and for debugging purposes we're going to use alert. So once a user touches a pin, we're going to show him a title which will contain the name of our place, and then we're going to add a message with showing him or her the whole description of the app. So data row description. And we can also add a button text to say got it. Got it. Okay, so now let's reload our app. So now you can see that we have this arrow here, and it shows us the description of the place and the title and our button text. Theoretically, you could just navigate to a different view and show it there. So just to show you how flexible this is, we'll be going over to my base and adding another place here. So let's add an item, the statue of Zeus. With the latitude and longitude as per Wikipedia entry. So let's go over here. Forgot to get the Wikipedia description. Let's get a rather long description to see what happens if we tap alert and the text is larger than the alert can display. So we're just adding a description here of the so this is here, it's added. So as you can see, it's been added rather quickly. So let's head over to our app. So let's not head over to our app. Say it's compiled already and it's already in the App Store. Let's just reload it here. And as you can see, we're having the statue already display here. Just click here and you can scroll inside the alert to see an extended description of the item. Okay, I hope that has helped you, and let me know if you have any questions, and please provide me with some feedback in the thread. Okay, thanks, bye.